Gossip, gossip.
Steady gossip.
What's up, world? You're tuned into 423 FM. You already know we've got you covered with your daily dose of celebrity drama. Now let's get into it. Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to the 423. Lakeith Stanfield, who you may know from Get Out and Atlanta, took to Instagram to give his opinion about certain media outlets. On the evening of November 13th, he posted a picture that reads, "The Shade Room, Lipstick Alley, Breakfast Club, World Star, and many others are anti-black." He went on to write in his caption, "It's a fact that a lot of these platforms are usually or tend to be feeding grounds for negative reinforcement toward black nonconformists. They bolster faux vanity and hold white supremacist scope over black men and women, often highlighting negative attributes and downplaying mind-expanding ones. They serve as bottomless coward consumption pits and digital, audio, or otherwise slave mentality museums at all you want." He got some support from fellow black celebrities like Algie Smith, who commented "thank you," Jason Mitchell commented "wow," even John Boyega got in on it, commenting "damn, I want to go on one day, but what did they do? Am I missing something?" assuming he's referring to the Breakfast Club. Following this, Charlamagne Tha God decided to use his platform over at the Breakfast Club to deem Lakeith Donkey of the Day, obviously disagreeing with his post and the idea that his show is anti-black. This was a subject that really got Charlamagne going, so he went on for 10 minutes, and I'm not going to play the entire thing, but here's a clip of the host defending the Breakfast Club and himself, also pointing fingers at white outlets that do the same thing as them but never get called out for it.
Because, you can say any and everything about me. I've damn near heard it all about myself online. But what you won't do is ever fix your lips to call one of my platforms, especially the Breakfast Club, anti-black. All right? Let me read the caption Lakeith Stanfield put with this meme. He said, "It's a fact that a lot of these platforms are usually or tend to be feeding grounds for negative reinforcement toward black nonconformists. They bolster faux vanity and hold a white supremacist scope over black men and women, often highlighting negative attributes and downplaying mind-expanding ones. They serve as bottomless coward consumption pits and digital, audio, or otherwise slave mentality museums at all you want." End quote. I don't know what the hell Lakeith Stanfield is talking about, but I do know myself, Charlamagne Tha God. In the 9 years I've been on this Breakfast Club, I strive every day to be the perfect balance of ratchetness and righteousness. All right, there's not another show out there that goes from Byron Allen to Black Youngster like it's nothing. All right, you tell me a show where the guest list goes from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to 21 Savage. This show has gone from me talking about sucking farts out of women's asses to me encouraging brothers and sisters to go to therapy and invest in their mental wealth. You know why, Lakeith? Because that's life. And that's the way life works, okay? I'm not going to sit here and act like we've gotten it right all the time, because we haven't. We've made plenty of mistakes on this radio, plenty of things I've looked back on and said, yeah, we should have played that a certain way. And all that critique is fine. But Lakeith Stanfield, don't you ever fix your raggedy ass mouth to call the author of Black Privilege, because I truly believe it is a privilege to be black, anti-black. Okay? Ask all those white people who call up here every day complaining about me saying crack ass cracker or mayonnaise, or asking me why everything got to be black and white. All right? Ask them. Okay, if I'm anti-black. Don't ever fix your mouth to call a brother like me anti-black, because, Young King, I know for a fact you don't take the chances that I do every day in the name of blackness, all right? That's exactly why you didn't call out any white media outlets, because your publicist, your agent, and those Hollywood executives you work for would have had a fit. You would never take that chance. See, as a black person, it's safe to go at black outlets like Shade Room, World Star, Lipstick Alley, Breakfast Club, and many others, as you said, but you would never fix your mouth to say that about any of the white outlets that do the same damn thing, because you know that would affect you in Hollywood. So who's the real coward? Okay, who's really got the slave mentality? If it's easier to call out your own black people than it is to go at the others, white folk. Lakeith is one of these folks who be on red carpets and they don't even speak to black outlets. Okay, walk right past Baller Alert or Bossip or Jasmine Brand and go talk to E or People, as if those outlets don't report so-called negative stories, as if those outlets are any less messy. Okay, Lakeith, I think it's hard to get the character Andre out of your spirit, because it sounds like you may still be in the sunken place. But I'm not about to go back and forth with you about this. I'm gonna simply say, when you are on any of these platforms, or even when you are on your own platforms like social media, how about be the change you want to see in the world? Don't give these platforms negativity to reinforce, because all we can do is provide the platform. The artists provide the content. There's been plenty of people who have sat in this room and elevated the conversation in this room, elevated the vibration in this room. You said that these platforms highlight negative attributes and downplay mind-expanding ones, but when you get the opportunity to speak, do you do that, King? I remember when you came on the Breakfast Club and I asked you about the name of your group, the Moors. That was an opportunity for you to teach, to tell us about the African conquerors of Spain, all right, to possibly tell us about Moorish civilization. But do you remember your answer? Now, the name of your group is the Moors.
Moors.
Is that the original Moors, black Africans they threw the world?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What made you want to name the group that?
Like a lot of things in my life, it was brought forth by manifestation of the universal comprised of the fabric of the universe.
He was high.
I was high. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Where was the mind expansion in that? Where was the mind expansion when you was on IG rapping lyrics with gay slurs? You remember that? Remember when he was letting the F word fly? Play that.
Boy, you're dressed like trash. You a 8'6". Take that choke chain back. That's some gay shit. Only black rags in my cab like I'm racist. Bag, I don't really like to brag, but I'm straight rich. Fucking bitches out the ass and I'm famous. And all these gay niggas mad cause they hate this. Coming through swerving on a nigga like
Now look, you know,
Wow.
I've said things that I regret and used language I regret, so I would never be that kind of hypocrite, but I'm just playing that to remind you that you haven't always been this woke warrior you claim to be, okay? In fact, you apologize for that freestyle. You know why? Because you know Hollywood don't play that. They will blackball your black ass in a minute. They will cancel you so quick that the only outlets who would accept you and still embrace you is, the black ones. Us, okay? It's just so crazy to me. You talk crazy about black outlets, but when you come on the black outlets, it's not like you being this intellectual beacon of light, okay? He was on Breakfast Club talking about being sexually attracted to dogs. Remember that?
I mean,
you from Cali, ain't you?
Yeah.
You not a Snoop fan?
Nah, I remember like looking at the Doggy Style album and being young and confused and not knowing whether I was sexually attracted to the dog or like what I should.
The dog had a fat ass.
Yeah,
I remember
real
that.
fat. I was like, yo,
I remember.
I'm starting to look at dogs weirdly now.
Yeah, okay. It happens. But you go on Jimmy Kimmel and you're respectful. And you bring the white man flowers. Remember that?
That's a good jacket. It really is.
Thank you very much. It's a magic jacket.
It's a Magic Johnson jacket, or it actually has magic powers?
It brings things into third dimensional space that weren't there before.
It does.
Yes, like flowers, for instance.
Are you going to do a magic trick? Oh, wow. Thank you.
Aw. Took the flower off your jacket and just gave it to the white man. Lakeith, you was getting interviewed for that Netflix project Death Note, and you was on there barefoot while the white man was interviewing you, and you was sniffing your feet and licking your toes. This is a literal video. He was sniffing his feet and licking his toes. Let me hear
I
it.
did not see that.
Yes.
That's disgusting.
You choose a lot of seemingly political roles that have look at society in different ways. Selma, Atlanta, Get Out. Do you pick scripts that way?
I attempt to be a part of stories that speak to my five senses.
Mm-hmm.
Sight, hearing, touch, and taste.
Taste. So you're not going to taste it. Shall we do that?
He's talking about the social implications of the roles that he plays in movies like Selma, Get Out, and Atlanta, and he's on there sniffing his feet and licking his feet in front of the white man. But it's the black platforms that are the feeding grounds of negative reinforcement, okay? It's sniffing your feet and licking your toes, what you call non-conforming. I don't know what got into you yesterday, King, but watch your mouth when it comes to calling a black man like me anti-black. And always remember, when you point a finger at someone else, point three back at yourself, because based on your logic and the things you put out there, you are just as much a problem as you claim us black media outlets are.
In his response, as you just saw, Charlamagne brought up an old video that Lakeith caught flack for, where he rapped some insensitive lyrics about gay people, and when that went down in 2018, Charlamagne made him Donkey of the Day then too. He also referenced the interview Lakeith actually did on The Breakfast Club from back in 2016, after he played Snoop Dogg in Straight Outta Compton. And it's interesting that Charlamagne's using this as a defense for the show, because when it first aired, a lot of people were pointing out in the comments just how disrespectful Charlamagne was to Lakeith at the time. And this is a criticism that The Breakfast Club gets a lot, that you can really tell they're biased when it comes to the guests they have on. And on top of that, Charlamagne specifically does get a lot of backlash for being disrespectful with certain celebs, like Forrest Whitaker, for example, and making fun of his eye a few months back. So whether or not you consider their platform anti-black like Lakeith, the Breakfast Club hosts are always receiving comments about a lack of professionalism on the show. After Charlamagne responded to the actor on Thursday morning, the whole day was filled with conversations across social media about Lakeith's comments. Some people agreed, some disagreed, and I guess all of the conversation led to Lakeith responding to Charlamagne's monologue in a lengthy Instagram video late Thursday night. In the video, he points out that Charlamagne is taking the whole thing personally, even though he never called him anti-black, just the platform. He goes on to say that he does criticize more than just black media outlets. That just wasn't on the menu today, and he calls Charlamagne's claims that he skips over black outlets on the red carpet to talk to E! News just plain false. Here's what he had to say.
Okay, I'm going to try to get through this without using ad hominem attacks and silly little things about your own personal life, because I don't think that's really what we have to hear. We have to the issues and topics at hand. Now, you just illustrated that sometimes you bring good guests, sometimes you bring bad guests. And that's kind of what I hinted to in the subtext of what you just read. Basically, what I was saying is outlets like yours have a tendency to lean toward highlighting negative things. And that's true. And if you don't understand that we engaged in a war, that it's a war to be black in this bitch, that means if you ain't on the team moving things forward, then you against the goddamn team, period. So if y'all doing more of that bullshit, then that shit goes under the umbrella, which I will admit is a generalization, but the umbrella of anti-black. And that's what the fuck I'm talking about. We're going.
Ask all those white people who call up here every day complaining about me saying cracker ass cracker or mayonnaise, or asking me why everything got to be black and white. All right, ask them. Okay, if I'm anti-black, don't ever fix your mouth to call a brother like me anti-black, because Young King, I know for a fact you don't take the chances that I do every day.
Okay, whatever the fuck that means. But also, I never called you personally anti-black, but I can see why out of everybody you might be the most offended one on the goddamn show. You know, but I never pointed you out. I said the platform as a whole, all three of y'all.
It's all right. That's exactly why you didn't call out any white media outlets, because your publicist, your agent, and those Hollywood executives you work for would have had a fit. You would never take that chance. See, as a black person, it's safe to go at black outlets like Shade Room, World Star, Lipstick Alley, Breakfast Club, and many others, as you said, but you would never fix your mouth to say that about any of the white outlets that do the same damn thing. Because
I'm focusing on the outlets that I tend to frequent and the ones that are predominantly are dealing with what we consider the black thing. You know what I mean? Those are the ones that I'm really focusing in on, honing on at this particular moment. But that don't mean that I don't critique others. You may not hear that, you may not see that, but I critique all kinds of things. It just happened to be that this was on the list in the menu today. To suggest that, you know, I'm not going against the other one. I mean, first of all, that's not my preoccupation, because I know what the fuck they gonna do, but I expect more from y'all. My bad for me holding you up to a higher standard. You know, let me back the fuck off, because I hold you to a standard to not diminish your own people. You feel me? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
that would affect you in Hollywood. So who's the real coward? Okay, who's really got the slave mentality? If it's easier to call out your own black people than it is to go at the others, white folk. Lakeith is one of these folks who be on red carpets and they don't even speak to black outlets. Okay, walk right back.
Not fucking true. I don't know where you got that information, but not true.
Baller alert or gossip or Jasmine brand and go talk to E or people as if those outlets don't report so-called negative stories, as if those outlets are any less messy. Okay, Lakeith, I think it's hard to get the character Andre out of your spirit because it sounds like you may still be in the sunken place, but I'm not about to go back and forth with you about this. I'm gonna simply say when you are on any of these platforms, or even when you are on your own platforms like social media, how about be the change you want to see in the world? Don't give these platforms negativity to reinforce, because all we can do is provide the platform. The artists provide the content. There's been plenty of people who have sat in this room and elevated the conversation in this room,
Okay, we provide whatever the fuck you're talking about. That's a simple cop-out. That's not taking responsibility for the kinds of things that you conjure up. You can clearly control the dial on your medium because you've done it before when it was in your interest. But when it's not in your interest, you don't. When you're talking to certain people, you do certain things. When you're talking to other people, you do other things. That's why I said you have the tendency. I didn't say you do it all the time. I said you got the tendency because you do.
Vibration in this room. You said that these platforms highlight negative attributes and downplay mind-expanding ones, but when you get the opportunity to speak, do you do that, King? I remember when you came on the Breakfast Club and I asked you about the name of your group.
Okay, he's gonna bring up the Moors. But before we get to this Moors shit, the moment I walked into the Breakfast Club interview, it was very clear to me that I was dealing with three people that were interested in playing idiotic games with me and not getting down to talking about anything of any substance. And there was evidence by that interview if you go back and look at it. I already knew who I was dealing with. So therefore, I put the goddamn grill in my mouth and I acted accordingly, just like I do in many of my interviews, which we'll get to later. But I knew what I was dealing with, so why would I go into explaining to you what the Moors are and what it means to me when I know you ain't trying to hear that or listen to that any goddamn way? You don't give a fuck about what the Moors mean. You give more fuck about bringing up my goddamn record, which is what you proceeded to do. Again, messy bullshit, the kind of shit I'm talking about. But go ahead.
Group the Moors. That was opportunity for you to teach, to tell us about the African conquerors of Spain, all right, to possibly tell us about Moorish civilization. But do you remember your answer? Now, the name of your group is the Moors. Would that be the original Moors, black Africans they threw the world?
Fabric of the universe outside.
Gotcha. Where was the mind expansion in that? Where was the mind expansion when you was on IG rapping lyrics with gay slurs? You remember that? Remember when you was letting the F word fly? Play that.
Boy, you're dressed like trash. You an 86. Take that choke chain back. That's some gay shit. Only black rags in my cab like I'm racist. Bag, I don't really like to brag, but I'm straight rich. Fucking bitches out the ass and I'm famous. And all these gay niggas mad cause they hate you. Coming through swerving on a nigga like
Now look, you know, I've said things that I regret.
Now, I admit that that was insensitive, and I've since addressed it. And, you know, at the time, to me, it was really about wordplay and playing with an aspect of understanding that I don't actually hold, but I ain't gonna go back into that because I've already talked about it. But, yeah, we've all said things that we address and look back to now and say, you know, I could do better and be better. That's all I'm asking everybody to do. Why are you getting all in your feelings about it? It's not personal. It's just a thing that's asking you to reflect and look at yourself and try to be better. I've had to do it. We all have to do it.
Use language I regret, so I would never be that kind of hypocrite, but I'm just playing that to remind you that you haven't always been this woke warrior you claim to be, okay? In fact, you apologize for that freestyle. You know why? Because you know Hollywood don't play that. They will blackball your black ass in a minute. They will cancel you so quick that the only outlets who would accept you and still embrace you is
No, I apologize because that's how I genuinely felt. I'm not going to say some shit I don't feel. I apologize because I didn't want to offend people, but I didn't realize how much reach my social media had at the time. You know, sometimes it's kind of difficult to know how much reach you have, you know. So, yeah, that's why I apologize.
the black ones.
And also, the black ones embracing me when I'm down and out is bullshit. I mean, you don't even embrace me while I'm here sitting in front of you. You know what I mean? So let alone let me be in a down and compromised position. No, you won't embrace me. You'll do the very thing that you do, which is to try and trample on people. I don't know why that's your forte, but it is.
It's just so crazy to me. You talk crazy about black outlets, but when you come on the black outlets, it's not like you being this intellectual beacon of light. Okay, he was on Breakfast Club talking about being sexually attracted to dogs. Remember that?
I mean, here we go.
You got a Snoop fan?
I ain't gonna lie, you funny though.
Like, looking at the Doggy Style album and being young and confused and not knowing whether I was sexually attracted to the dog or like what I should be. I was like, yo, I'm starting to look at dogs weird.
So what I'm talking about is when I was a child and I saw the Doggy Style album, obviously, like that was designed to arouse some sexuality in people. It's not like I'm saying that I was literally attracted to dogs. And by the way, it's irrelevant to the argument anyway, so keep pushing.
It happens, but you go on Jimmy Kimmel and you're respectful. And you bring the white man flowers.
I was respectful to y'all too.
It really is. Thank you very much. It's a magic jacket.
It's a Magic Johnson jacket, or it actually has magic powers?
It brings things into third dimensional space that weren't there before.
It does.
Yes, like flowers, for instance.
Are you gonna do a magic trick? Wow. Aw, took the flower off your jacket and just gave it to the white man. Lakeith, you was getting in.
Gave it to the white man. What the fuck does that have to do with him being white? Like, just because I give him, so if it was a black host that I gave the flower to, what would that mean? I don't understand. You know, you might have got a flower. Y'all, all three of y'all might have got a flower. Had you just simply been a little bit more cordial and like, you know, decent to me, but you weren't. You know, like I just gave a flower to a host of a show. It's not about him being white. So don't try to conflate that to fit your own narrative that you're trying to build very weakly, by the way. Trying to build this narrative that I somehow pandered to white shit and I'm against black shit. Like, come on, chill, bro.
For that Netflix project Death Note, and you was on there barefoot while the white man was interviewing you, and you was sniffing your feet and licking your toes. This is a literal video. He was sniffing his feet and licking his toes.
I did not see that. That's disgusting.
Okay, so because I do some shit for a quirky role that I was playing, and I was playing in the interview of Quirky as I played in your interview, and yeah, I lick my feet. I don't care, they my feet. I love them. There ain't no problem with it. I lick my feet, and you can be tolerant or intolerant to that. But again, what the hell does it have to do with the topic at hand that we're talking about? Absolutely nothing. It's attempting to try to paint me in a light that's not credible because you got no real arguments. You haven't even addressed none of the arguments that I really talked about yet, other than trying to talk about your therapy book, which I guess maybe you need to do a little bit more therapy so you have some clarity and insight into looking into yourself, man.
Seemingly political roles that have Atlanta, and he's on there sniffing his feet and licking his feet in front of the white man. But it's the black platforms that are the feeding grounds of negative reinforcement, okay? It's sniffing your feet and licking your toes, what you call non-conforming. I don't know what got into you yesterday, King, but watch your mouth.
Well, non-conforming would see the way that you responding to this, that's what I'm talking about. The way that you responding to me doing things that are, in essence, completely harmless and got nothing to do with nothing. But like, oh, whoa, that's like that. That type of shit is what I'm talking about. You have no space for things that you don't understand. Just because you ain't comfortable to be in your own skin and do what you do, literally and otherwise, be in your own skin, just because you ain't comfortable with that, doesn't mean that I need not be comfortable with it. I can give white, black, blue, or otherwise men flowers and feel completely fine about it. I can lick my goddamn toes. I can suck my toes until this motherfucking salt up off of them and feel comfortable about that, you know? And I hope that everybody can feel comfortable with themselves to do what they want. You ain't got to do what I do, but I'm not going to be sitting back judging you for what you do all day either. That's what I mean. The no tolerance zone for anything you don't understand.
You're calling a black man like me anti-black. And always remember, when you point a finger at someone else, point three back at yourself, because based on your logic and the things you put out there, you are just as much a problem as you claim us black media outlets are. But Lakeith, I wish you the best. This came from a place of love, and two takeaways I want to leave you with is one, be the change you.
So yeah, I just wanted to address a couple of them things. I just got off work, so I got a little bit of time, but it's just like, you know, you got to do a little bit better than that, man. Just be honest with yourself. You ain't got to be honest with me. You know what I mean? I don't really give a fuck like that. I'm just posting some shit on my Instagram, you know. But I'm sorry that you had to be offended by it. Hopefully, you know, you could kind of see the truth in it. I know I ain't always perfect on my critiques or all the way around, you know, but you know, I really mean the best. I mean good. I mean for everybody to just do a little bit better to, you know, siphon the kinds of things we put out about ourselves, you know. And that's really all I was trying to do. It may have been a little abrasive, but yeah, you know, I just wanted to address a couple of them things because that shit was crazy. But anyway, I'm gonna take my ass.
I do get what Charlamagne means when he says that he's not the one controlling the content, he's just covering it. Obviously, media outlets have a choice on what and who they cover, and if certain platforms are only covering negative stories or posting things with captions that make it obvious their intention is to rile up their readers, that's on them. But I don't think that posting gossip or stories that are about something other than someone donating to charity inherently makes that outlet negative or anti-black if those gossipy stories happen to be about black celebrities. And while I think Lakeith Stanfield clearly has some sort of personal problem with the Breakfast Club because of some experiences he had in the past, there certainly are a lot of people who feel similarly about their platform and the others mentioned in his initial Instagram post. Anyway, I want to know what you guys think about this. Whose side are you on here? Lakeith, Charlamagne, or none of the above? Leave your thoughts down below in the comments, subscribe to the 423 for more videos, and if you like this one, just give it a quick thumbs up. That is it for today. I will see you guys next time. Bye.